Hey y'all, I'm back. I got an 8-week challenge for you. If you guys are ever curious why there's 2 different colored blankets on the bed, it's because I am a night sweater and my husband is a freezer. So we use 2 different blankets. In fact, he uses 3 and I generally use 1. So just a little FYI. I'm back with an 8-week update for my fitness challenge. At this point, it is technically 10 weeks because I did a taper on, and then I did 4 weeks, and then I had a deload week where I didn't do very much, and then I did 4 more weeks, which is where we're at. So we're at those second 4 weeks of this. So first up, I'm going to put some pictures on the screen and show the before and after. The first pic in each of them is from the end of the 4-week challenge, and the second picture is from the end of the 8-week challenge. So before and after, I'm just keeping up from the before not being the original picture. So one day I will post before of my very original and after of where I'm at when I start maintaining my fitness level or my shape. I don't know, whatever. Anyways, let's get to the pictures. So here in the front, you can see my whole body is smaller. And I'm really excited about that. I have bigger, more defined shoulders. My shirt is fitting better and is smoother. It's like less wrinkly. The boobs are lifted. Let's talk about that for a second. They are looking good. And I forgot to flex my arms just to really show off the definition of my arms. But let's just say I see it in my personal everyday, in the mirror, in my, I can feel it. It's there. It's getting good. Second picture, my back is from the back. My whole body, again, is smaller. From my legs to my arm, everything's smaller. The shirt fits better and is smoother. And my butt is smaller and more lifted. From the side in the third picture, everything is smaller. My belly is smaller than my boobs, which is great. That's where I want to be at. In fact, I would like to keep shrinking my belly, which is definitely going to happen because I do have more fat there. My butt has more of a shelf. My legs are smaller and my boobs are higher. So in these pics, I did have to get smaller bra and leggings. Only the shirt is the same. In fact, the underwear is also different. I forgot my water, 1 second. Oh, I also forgot to grab the in-body. Hold on, I'm not prepared. Okay, well, it turns out I left it in my husband's car, which is fine because we weren't really gonna go over it anyways. I remember the gist of it, and the gist of it was I was on my period, and I went in there, and I weighed almost 3 pounds more than I had the previous month. So in what is that, March? In March, I was 194 point something. And when I went in there, I was 196 point something. It was pretty high 196. And so it said I gained 3 pounds of fat and lost 1 pound of muscle. And as you can see from my pictures, that is not true. So I was in the car because I did the in-body first, and I was in the car and I was like, oh my God, I've gained 3 pounds of fat. Like I must be right back where I started. Like, holy cow, like I can't believe this is happening. And so then I came home and I took those progress pictures, and you can see in those progress pictures, like, there's a difference, a significant difference. I probably lost another 3 pounds of fat. Does anything say that? No, my scale does not say that. My in-body does not say that. Even I tried to measure my waist because I was like, my waist looks teeny tiny. It is the exact same measurements as last month. So I'll have to do some of the other ones, but honestly, I just was not motivated to do it because I'm like, it's either gonna say I'm bigger because I've gained muscle, or it's gonna say something else, because honestly, I don't know how to be consistent at measuring in the same place every time. It's like a month apart, like, so that's just not helpful. And so what I have come to is, once again, that the scale, even the in-body, all of those, like, even my scale has those, like, fat ratios, and it's got to be so far off. But all of those little things are outdated, and they don't mean anything. Like, my body is physically smaller and more defined. Like, my arms look amazing. My legs look incredible. Oh my God. I'm like, damn, girl. My butt, man, my husband cannot keep his hands off of my behind. So, like, let's just say, like, I'm feeling good and I'm looking good. And so, once again, I'm reminded that weight loss is not weight loss, but the scale is an outdated idea, and that movement is good for the body, and focusing on gravity's effect on my mass is unhelpful, and that I can see why I see all these comments of, like, I'm doing all these right things and it's not happening for me. And it's like, because the only form of progress that I am currently seeing is in pictures from 5 weeks ago. 5 weeks ago were those pictures. So it's like, you have to be, you gotta be nice to yourself, because in those 5 weeks, like, I'm gonna talk about it, but there were times that I struggled because I was sitting there worried about that I was gaining weight, because I have no idea. I have no way to tell whether I'm gaining fat or gaining muscle or any of those things, other than 4 to 5 weeks from now when I take more progress pictures. So, like, whew, I can see why people just give up, because it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I am frustrated that there is no way for me except for to do a DEXA scan, which I don't even think my city even has one, let alone my insurance is gonna pay for. So, like, let's just move on. So what am I gonna do about this? Because I can't just sit here and be frustrated that the only form of progress is my 4 to 5 week out progress pictures. Yes, those are very helpful, and honestly, I look at them a lot to, like, move myself forward. If I can't get out of bed, I look at those before and after pictures, and I get my booty out of bed. But some of the other things I'm going to do are the pictures, but also I started a running journal, and I was subtotaling my distance, but then I realized, as effective as that is, I also should be subtotaling the time that I'm running, because that's more of the indicator, because a lot of the distance is also walking. And so I started subtotaling my time, and during week 8, I ran 60 minutes over the whole week, and that's incredible. Like, that was, I just feel good about that. So that's a good way to progress and see my progress. And I keep track of my weights, so I see that. I also see that I haven't been progressing, so either I've hit a plateau for a minute, or I really do need creatine. So this is week 9, day 1, and I'm going to start taking creatine again to see if I notice a difference and if I stop plateauing. And I'm going to figure out more ways to track my progress. I do also notice non-scale victories. Like, it's harder for me to hit zone 2 when I'm walking. I'm only in zone 1. Even on the hill that I have on my walk, like, even then, I'm only in zone 1, which is amazing. That's where I wanted to be. Or how about the incline hike? I checked my stats from the first time I did that incline hike, and I was hitting zone 4 and zone 3. And this last time I did this incline hike, I didn't get out of zone 2. I was in zone 2 and zone 1 the whole time. And that is real progress. I can't see it. I can't see that my heart is getting stronger, but clearly it is. So, let's talk about stats. I did accidentally forget to look at them at the end of day or week 4, which my watch messes up a little bit on things if you don't check that night. So yesterday I checked, and this daily average step was 13,000 and some, and today when I checked it was 12,902. So take it with a grain of sand, you know. Also, I went shopping with my daughter on Friday, and my watch, she did a lot of the pushing in the cart, and my watch counted 3,000 steps between the 2 stores, and normally it counts 700. So I go shopping every 2 weeks. Just saying, I'm probably getting more steps than my watch is actually even counting. Anyway, so 12,902 average per day, and during the 4 weeks it was 12,389. So I did go up by about 500 steps per day, which is good. That's progress. That's an increase. Also, these last 2 weeks of the week 7 and week 8, I really kind of had a deload week at the end and the beginning because of where I was at in my menstrual phase. And so that did decrease my energy. Also, I haven't been taking creatine because I felt like I wasn't noticing a difference. And I think I'm going to start taking it again because I think I am noticing a difference of not being able to hit that 15,000 step mark like I was when I was regularly taking the creatine. So, average weekly total was 87,092 steps. 4 weeks was 83,628 steps, so we went up by 4,000 steps, like 3,500 steps. Okay, so that's great. Over a week, I got 3,500 more steps. That's great. That's wonderful. Total for the 8 weeks was 348,926 steps. And 4 weeks, it was 342,066. So we went up by 6,000, over almost 7,000 steps total more in that 4 weeks than we did in the beginning 4 weeks, which is great because I actually hiked less during the last 2 weeks, which we'll talk about. And I also I also didn't get as many steps on a lot of the days. There was a lot of days I didn't hit the 15,000 step mark. So let's see here. Miles. Total miles was I did 154,000 or wow, 154.9 miles in the 8 weeks, or in weeks 8 or 5 through 8, and then in the 4 weeks we did 152.8. So I did like, what is that? Like 2 miles more. That doesn't seem right with 7,000 more steps. Is that 2 miles? My 2 miles is like 5,000 steps. Interesting. Okay. Whatever you say. Garmin. Although, again, I like my Garmin, but man, some of the, like, nuances of it. I was talking to, I was watching Sandra McCulloch's videos, and she was talking about how she'll go on a 3-mile run, and her Garmin will say she needs 18 hours of recovery or something, which my Garmin, I'll do a 15-minute run and my Garmin will say I need like 18 hours of recovery, and I'm like, that's nuts. And so I was also talking about like a lot of it'll say I'm maintaining all the time, I'm never improving according to my Garmin, which I think is a blatant lie. So just take some of this stats with a grain of salt, because at this point the numbers don't seem to matter at all, which is really ironic when it comes to my beliefs. So just gonna, the numbers don't matter. What is it? Whose line of it is it anyways? The points don't matter. The numbers don't matter. Intensity minutes. My deload week, before I started week 5 was 274, and then week 5 was 639, week 6 was 677, and those were both higher than weeks 1 through 4, so I did more intensity minutes those 2 weeks. And then week 7 was when I hit my luteal phase and I stopped taking the creatine, and I hit 390 that week. And then week 8, I did increase what I was doing, but I also still wasn't taking creatine. And so I only hit 443. And both those weeks, week 7, I didn't hike at all. And week 8, I only went on 1 hike, where I can't remember. I did 2 hikes on week 5 and 6. So, and then I couldn't get the stats for the intensity minutes because I forgot to check it the night before. And so I had to do some math, but the average was 77 minutes a day. Whereas in weeks 1 through 4, I was averaging 80 minutes a day. So I don't know if that's because like I was still doing 10 to 15,000 steps. I did more steps, but my heart rate isn't going as high for those steps. So sometimes I was doing like a 40-minute walk on the treadmill, and only like 10 minutes of it counted towards my intensity minutes. And I'm like, okay, that's a good thing, you know? It's a good thing. What did Martha Stewart used to say? It's a good thing. Is that her? Whatever. Apparently I'm on millennial brain today and all of my old references are coming out. Anyways, average resting heart rate was 63, whereas in the 4-week update, my average resting heart rate was 66. So it went down by 3 points. My average high was 143, which I did more running this month than I did that month. Like, I did running in weeks 1 through 4, but I did more running in weeks 5 through 8. And my resting heart rate was 143, or my average heart rate was 143 during that, and 148 during 1 through 4. So it went down, and I did more running. I'm feeling fantastic about that. So let's talk about how this challenge went from being like a direction for me, because it was just like I was going to start training for a hiking, and how it became like this hybrid fitness program for myself. And because I have pretty much had this like set fitness schedule since last year. It's worked really well for me, doing 3 days of strength training and 3 days of some form of cardio. And so that was really like the basis of the program, the foundation of the program. And then I just added in the hiking, and then I got burned out on hiking, being forced to go on an elevation hike when I just didn't want to. The pace ones drove me nuts, because I was like rushing through the trail and I wouldn't let my husband stop. I'm like, we are here for enjoyment. We're here to get, like, excuse me, we're not here for enjoyment. That's the whole purpose of this. So, like, first off, I'm just giving that whole portion up. I am not gonna force myself to hike certain hikes. I will not be doing that anymore. I will be doing hikes only for enjoyment and only when I want to. And I have a new friend who wants to go every Thursday anyways. So, like, that's enjoyable. That's when I want to. I'll at least be getting those in. So it's almost like the next domino fell. Thanks, universe. So I have progressed from needing a checklist and forcing the hike in to just having it be a part of my life. And so this is really, I started running because I always looked at runners and was like, that's something I wish I could do. I mean, I literally would just stare at runners on the road. If you live in my town and you run on the side of the road, I've probably stared at you running, going, I wish I could do that. Just daydreaming about what you're doing on the side of the road. And so running, like, I convinced myself it was something I could do, and it is something I can do. It's not something I can do at the same lengths as other people, but it is something I can do at relative to what I could do before. So I'm feeling fantastic about it. And so this has really become like a strength training, cardio, running, hiking, hybrid fitness, but really there's no real like label to it, because it's just, the thing is that I just want to be strong, and I want to have good cardio function, and what did I write? I am working out for longevity and sustainability. I am not looking for the next viral trend to get me skinny. I don't want to be skinny. I want to be strong, and I want to be fast, and I want to be able to run long distances. I want to be able to keep up with Legolas when he is running to get the Merry and Pippin. Like, I want to be able to do those kinds of things, and I can't do that without starting now, or 4 weeks ago, or 8 weeks ago, you know, like I did. And so I'm not looking for viral products. I'm not looking at what's trending, and I picture myself hiking and strength training and running into my 70s, 80s, 90s until it is no longer possible for me to do these things. I picture myself, I keep telling, like, I have been passed by old people on the trail, and my, like, mantra is I'm gonna be the old person passing those young people on the trail. And I already passed people on the trail. That's the thing. I have already passed people on the trail. So I am already, like, doing fantastic. Like, it's not even like that, but I want to be the old lady passing the young person on the trail. So this is longevity and sustainability. And the things that show longevity, muscle mass, having good muscle mass, having low fat, having good cardiovascular, like, those are all things. Having a hobby that is also exercise, all of these things fit into this little fitness regime I have going on. Like, it's almost like this, I took my life and turned it into a challenge, is what I originally started off with, but now I no longer need the challenge, and I'm just at a place where it's just part of my life. Like, there are days where I get up and I don't want to go on a long run because it's hard and it's miserable. But there's never a day that I don't do some kind of movement. There are days where I don't do the long run because I don't have the energy, but I don't, like, even on my rest days, I'm getting 5,000 to 6,000 steps just throughout my day, which is good. It's good movement. There are days I get more than that because I'll go on a walk because my hips are sore and they just need the movement. But I feel good about the progress I'm making because I have turned this into a habit. That's how I feel. I feel like this challenge has pretty much just made this a habitual thing that I do, and I have such such a routine in it. I do the same thing every Monday. I do the same thing every Tuesday. I do the same thing every Wednesday. Like, it's the same thing every week. It's different every day, but it's the same thing every week. And I feel like I have turned it into a habit now. And so, once again, I'm looking for strength over skinny. I'm looking for health over looks. Yes, I'm grateful for toning down or toning up and slimming down and all of that stuff. I am grateful for that. But I eat for nutrients, and I work out to gain muscle and to improve my cardio fitness, which are both long-term health indicators, like I was talking about. So, one of the things that I truly feel down to my core is I believe in changing myself to who I want to be. And so if I ever need to convince myself to apologize to someone for something I have done, all I need to do is say, who do I want to be? And I want to be the compassionate person who apologizes for my mistakes and owns up for them and doesn't just lash out at people because my emotions control me, and yet I'm denying that my emotions control me in any way. Sorry. Am I calling you out? So anyways, because of that, I know I'm not stuck with asthma. I have only used my inhaler once during this entire thing, and that was because I was talking while I was in zone 2, and I've never done that before, and it's harder than it seems. So, but I am not stuck with asthma, and I'm not stuck being unable to do a pull-up. I can work on both of those things and more by doing the work and being consistent, almost exactly like I did in therapy for 5 years. My therapist would give me homework. She would give me, I'm trying to put it in gym terms. She would give me a workout to do. It was a mental workout. And I would come home and I was already home because we did telehealth, but I would find time and I would do that workout. And over time, the workout started coming from inside myself, and I was able to give myself workouts. And then it was easier and easier to do the workouts, and the workouts became habit. And so then I graduated therapy. Now, am I going to ever graduate the gym? No. But I am going to make progress. I'm going to be able to do a pull-up at some point. I'm going to be able to run a 10K and a half marathon and a marathon. And those are going to feel incredible. I'm going to cry every time because look at where I started. Barely even been able to run a mile. So, what do I know from all of my therapeutic workout sessions? Discomfort equals growth. And there is discomfort in moving my body in ways that it's never moved before. But there's also a lot of release, and there's a lot of being proud of myself. Oh my gosh, all I have to do is think about running a mile or any of it. I'm so proud of myself. And also, there's no feeling like running. The freedom I get from running, it hurts like hell. Sorry about that. But oh my gosh, it just, freedom. And there's this song, I think it's by Winona Oak, called Horses, and I'm gonna cry. I just picture myself one day running on a beach and wild horses just come and we're running, and when that song plays, I just picture that the whole time. And I think there's no way I can run on that beach with those wild horses like I want to if I'm not doing the work now. If I don't do it now. So if I want those horses to come to me, which I believe they could, sorry, I gotta do the work. I gotta run now. I gotta run as much as I can, and 60 minutes is a lot. So let's see if we can hit 65 minutes this week, you know? It was really, I talked a little bit about how it's harder to get into zone 2 and zone 4 because it was not, so I was not getting the same intensity minutes, even though I was doing a lot of the same workouts and even more. So, during one of the weeks, I ran 1 mile straight, and, so I signed up for 5K. I know that's probably a lofty goal. Some people are probably like, wow, went from one mile to 3, okay, over 3. But I ran 1.5 miles on the treadmill on an incline of 1, doing 5 minutes off and 1 to 2 minutes off, or 5 minutes on and 1 to 2 minutes off. So even if I have to run my 5K like that, I'm happy to do it. So this week, my goal is to hit 2 miles on my short run day and 3 miles on my long run day, doing the 5 minutes on and 1 to 2 minutes off. So, today is my short run day, and it is currently pouring down rain outside, and I do not have waterproof shoes. I am now like, oh, okay, that's good to know for the next pair of running shoes I get. But, so I'll probably have to run on the treadmill, which is fine. But, I do have a goal of 10K by September, which is about a mile a month at this rate. So I think I could handle that, even if it's, again, 5 minutes on, 1 minute off the whole time, which I do plan to push that after I get used to the 5 minutes on, 1 minute off, or 1 to 2 minutes off is 5.5 minutes on, or 6 minutes on, or up to, you know, just keep pushing that. So, some of the problems that I had during this, actually it was during both of them. It was during both 4-week sessions. I have a really big fear of sugar, apparently. I mean, I thought I have really worked through a lot of these fears. I've met with a dietitian who gave me a lot of advice, and it helped a lot. I've met with my therapist over this a lot. And honestly, the dietitian and my therapist both had the same advice. I was just able to work through my feelings more with my therapist. And so, like, I have this fear that I'm going to gain fat from eating sugar. And I know a lot of this stems from childhood because my mom and my grandma used to make comments about my weight constantly. Like, I was a small child and they would comment about how I was chubby, or like I was too skinny when I was a teenager. I remember distinctly my mom looking over at my legs and her saying, "I wish you had gotten my legs." What kind of comment is that to a teenager? Like, gross. The more I think about the behaviors my mother and her family had, I'm just like, you guys were awful to the children of your lives. So, like, you're wondering why I don't talk to you? And if you're watching this video, I want you to know that's why. It's your behavior. Ugh. And if you are someone who your family doesn't talk to you, most likely it's your behavior. So, sorry. that was, ooh, I was triggered there. Dang, girl. Oh man, you guys got to see that big time. Oh, I can feel it. Ooh, ooh, hello there. Oh, in real time, let's walk through this. Okay, my stomach really hurts. And so I'm just gonna say to it, like, hello, I love you. I am here. What do you need? And I hear love and acceptance. So I'm just gonna, I'm just gonna sit with that feeling for a second. My tummy really hurts, and that's okay because already it's passing. Woo! Goodbye, tummy ache. Okay, so I guess I'm really triggered by sugar because of those feelings. That's a lot of, I mean, gosh damn. Like, we just saw that in real time. Like, wow. Like, who? If you're a therapist, I don't need your help because I just saw that in real time and did it myself. Like, we're good. We're good. Okay. So, I'm just working on these feelings because I clearly have a lot of feelings that are associated with the fear of getting fat and also like the anger I have towards my family. Like that, those are clearly interconnected here in a big way. So like, I will say that's the thing about this fitness hiking sometimes, like even or walking on the treadmill, working out, like there are so many feelings that release and come up with it, and then later with the soreness that comes up, like I have to release them somatically or I'm just sitting in pain, and I don't want to sit in my pain, I want to flow with my pain. And so I it's just like almost like a new way to have therapy. It's like my fitness. Like I went from needing a therapist to being able to do it myself, but also needing like the specific time to actually do the therapy. And so a lot of that is hiking and apparently like working on my fears around sugar. And I see it a lot in the world. Like I'm not alone in this. There are so many people with fears around food. From anti-nutrient seed oils, other things. There's so many things that I am not afraid of that I see other people just like fear-mongering, and I'm like, I feel bad for you. And then I'm looking at myself with the sugar and I'm like, dang girl, I feel bad for you. Like, so I guess we're all in it together, you know? I'm not immune to the realities of this world, unfortunately, and the realities of this world are generational trauma. The good news is even with that fear of sugar and fear of fat gain, I still have 0 restrictions. I am eating everything and anything that I want. And I realized my whole diet is basically eat what you want, add what you need. And I always need at least 20 grams of protein and 8 grams of fiber. So I am trying to get those from non-processed sources, because those like processed protein and processed fiber in like those carb tortillas that have more fiber in them, those really hurt my tummy. And so I just don't try to eat. I don't do any high fiber swaps. I don't do a lot of high protein swaps. If I do a high protein swap, it's done with something that's like a whole food, which I have a hard time saying because a lot of people say they eat whole foods and then they just eat like almost a carnivore diet. And so I eat mostly vegetables, some fruit, and quite a bit of protein, but mostly vegetables. My diet is 3/4 vegetables, I would say, and then like 1/4 meat. And okay, we're gonna say at least half, almost all my plates are 3/4 vegetables and 1/4 meat, I should say. So like I'm getting my fiber in through plant sources. The one thing I do that is like a processed item like that is my protein coffee every morning. I do the one thing of processed protein powder, and then I do add the collagen into it now, but that's because I do better when I don't work out on a fasted stomach. But I can't eat first thing in the morning because I get really sick to my stomach, and I have a really hard time even after I work out. So that's the one thing I do, but I only count it towards 30 grams of my protein for the whole day because I'm trying to get 70 grams of protein from meats, yogurts, milks, nuts, beans, avocado, broccoli, like those kinds of things. So that was what happened over the 8 weeks. If you want to see like in depth, there's 4 videos you can watch. So what's next for me? Consistency, but without the check boxes. I'm going to keep track of the days with my little post-it notes that I have, because I like that. I might switch it to where after my 5K, I might switch it to where I'm just doing a month at a time, and that I'm taking pictures at the end of the month, and then like, yeah. Anyways, I haven't decided yet, but there won't be no more papers where I'm checking how many waters I'm doing. I'm checking if I'm getting 100 grams of protein or 24 grams of fiber. I am going to still consistently try to do these things, but I'm not going to put it on a checkbox anymore. I'm going to try to put some freedom in my life by just allowing my life to be and to flow into the next domino. And so there will be more freedoms in the hike I do, and I want to get back to hiking because I love it, not because I'm forced to do it. Like, if there's a week where like my legs are hurting and I just don't want to go on a hike, like I don't want to have to be like, oh well, you guys, I didn't do my hike this week. Just want to be like, I didn't do a hike this week, and that's okay. Like I was sore or whatever. So I have tried to come up with like a little label or whatever for this, but I'm struggling with one so far. I'm kind of liking wandering into strength. I'm kind of liking a hybrid fitness routine. I'm kind of liking just sustainable lifestyle fitness, like something like that. But I'm afraid with the like wandering into strength that people are gonna think I'm thinking it's like easy and I'm just like sauntering in, but like wanders aren't always easy. So when I started this year, I was lost as heck, and when you're wandering, sometimes you are lost and that's not easy. And with the hybrid fitness, I'm not exactly like a hybrid athlete or anything. And this isn't exactly like a Hyrox hybrid program. It's just me trying to be doing what science says is best for fitness by getting in my cardio and my strength training. So if anyone has made it to the end of this video and has suggestions on a name or a label for this, I'm all ears. Otherwise, I'm recording week 9 starting today, and I'm just gonna see where it takes us, and like what happens if I don't do the check boxes. Like, do I hit more steps? Do I hit less steps? Like what happens? So what happens if I just try to allow this to be my daily lifestyle instead of a challenge? You know, it's a habit. It's felt like a habit now. So let's like see if we can consistently allow it to be a habit when I'm not forcing the check boxes and forcing it for a video. So yeah, that's all I have for you today. As a reminder, as always, I hope you are being kind to yourself. I know it is hard. I feel it too when I'm sitting there telling myself I shouldn't have eaten the piece of candy because I'm gonna gain fat, and somehow that's a bad thing, you know? Just like, so what if I gain a little bit of fat? Like, maybe my body needs that little bit of fat because I was working too hard and I wasn't eating enough or something. So you're not alone. You are never alone. And I am right here with you. And let's be kind to each other, because being kind to ourselves is already hard enough. We don't also need to be mean to each other too. So be kind to yourself, be kind to others, be kind to animals. We'll see you in the next one.